There's been a few God of War games out in the past, and this was the first one on the PS2. But is it any good? Let's have a little look.
Now there is no hope.
And Kratos cast himself from the highest mountain in all of Greece.
God of War has come a long way in the past 20 years, over 4 generations of console, and here is where it all began. You play as Kratos, a Spartan warrior who serves the gods of Greek mythology. The goddess Athena gives Kratos a mission to kill Ares, the god of war, and you must battle your way through hordes of enemies and find Pandora's box to complete the task. You are equipped with a sword attached to chains on each arm called the Blades of Chaos. You'll use these to cut your way through everyone and everything that stands in your way. Your basic attack is with one button and hard attack with another. Combos can be achieved by tapping both buttons in different sequences, dealing even more damage than a standard button mash attack. You can grab enemies and throw them, and you have special abilities which will be unlocked as you progress. Pressing a D-pad direction will change the power you can use. There's Poseidon's Rage, which will send out a huge amount of energy to hit enemies multiple times. Medusa's Gaze, which will freeze enemies, giving you a short time to smash them to pieces. Zeus's Fury, which enables you to lock onto enemies in the distance and fire a bolt of lightning to kill them. And Army of Hades, which summons the souls of the dead to help fight. You will eventually get another weapon called the Blades of Artemis, which is a huge sword that deals a great amount of damage. Combo moves can be used just like the Blades of Chaos, and you can switch between the weapons on the fly by pressing both sticks in. Additionally, there is a super move called the Rage of the Gods, which is shown in the bottom right corner. Once this is filled, you can dish out some heavy damage for a short period of time. When this is fully charged, it will be announced to you, so you don't have to keep looking down at it. Throughout the game, you'll come across a large chest with a colour on top. You can open these to top up your meters. Red will give you red orbs that can be used to level up your weapons, which will unlock more button combos for your sword attacks, as well as powering up your special abilities. The blue chest will give you blue orbs to top up your magic meter, and the green chest that gives you green orbs to fill your health back up. You can also find orbs and items in the scenery like boxes and barrels. You can slash most things to give you a little something extra, but it's the chests that hold the most. Defeating enemies will also award you with multiple orbs, and bosses will give you a huge amount too. Other chests can be found which will contain either a phoenix feather or a gorgon's eye. Collect 6 feathers to increase your magic meter, and collect 6 eyes to increase your health meter. The bosses are huge and take a while to take down, but they aren't impossible to kill. Once you have their energy at a low point, it will then activate a quick time event where you'll need to hit the right button at the right time to execute Kratos' next move. If you miss one, then you take damage, but the scene will repeat again until you get it right, or die. And this guy can really batter those colossal creatures.
I bet he drinks Carling Black Label.
But is this game any good? The last time I played this was on the PS3, the God of War collection, and I really enjoyed it. Now I'm playing it on the PS2, and I have to say I'm not disappointed at all. I was expecting bad blocky graphics and terrible controls, but it plays absolutely fine. If this were a PlayStation 1 release, then it'd be pretty bad, and the controls would definitely suffer because of the controls most of the games adapted. The story is great, and you may learn a little bit about Greek gods. The graphics are looking a bit outdated now, but there's plenty of gore and violence, as well as some women. The action is excellent and very brutal at times, and the smoothness of controls really make this game playable today. Save points can be found at various points of your journey, and checkpoints are in between, so you won't have to keep reloading a save game to try again if you die. Some areas may take a while to complete, and they can involve small puzzles to open up new routes. These aren't too difficult to accomplish, but it can be time consuming, especially if you die a lot. It won't be uncommon to lose your way in places, or not know what to do, but the answer is never too far away. It's a case of looking around for switches or ropes, but not heavily backtracking. This game goes on forever, but for someone who's on the first try could be looking at well over 6 hours to get through this. But that's not a bad thing. It doesn't get boring, and you're certainly going to get your money's worth out of it. This may not be the best God of War game in the series, but it's a good place to start, so you can really get immersed in the story. Chronologically, this is the second game in the series. It merges with the versions released on the PSP, but it doesn't really matter that much. The sound effects are great and the music is brilliant, and it can go from ambient to full on depending on the scene. The music keeps intense while you're battling, and is a cue for when the battle is about to start or end. The graphics are pretty good for the time, and it does a great job for what the system is capable of. Unfortunately, it can't do detailed textures to make the scenery look more realistic, and enemies not so jagged, but it's still very impressive. On top of all that, the gameplay is excellent and highly addictive, and I'll give this a steady 90%. Thanks for watching. If for some strange reason you like my videos, please consider subscribing so I don't feel so unpopular. Do you know what I mean?